Are you planning on riding the festive 500 challenge over this Christmas? And you want one of those roundels, the ones that Rafa used to give away but don't anymore? No worries, Harrison Fund are doing them if you raise £100 towards research into Duchenne disease. Here we see Nick Telsig with two sons, both suffering from it, who won't reach adulthood. Just ride 500 kilometres, raise £100 and get the badge. Why not sign up now?
Hello everybody, how are you? Good evening, welcome to, it's Friday night, the last weekend before Christmas, and we have some fantastic racing starting in just over 2.5 minutes. Sorry, slight technical problem there, my fault. So yeah, welcome again. Sorry, I was getting some feedback, I don't know if you heard it, but anyway, so yeah, now just over 2 minutes now before we start the Southborough District Wheelers Friday Frenzy, and tonight it is one of their double headers. So racing is in Lee Valley. It's 7 laps, I think, of Lee Valley, just over 11.2 kilometres. There's the course for you. It's an Olympic doubleheader. Lee Valley, obviously, that big circle is the home of Lee Valley Velodrome, which was the Olympic velodrome for the London Olympics in 2012. But there's a lot of cycling. There's a road course around there. There's some off-road stuff as well, cyclocross and so on. So it's become a bit of a, well, it's the Olympic legacy, isn't it? It's the biking competitions and various biking centres that you can use around Lee Valley. And then our second race tonight, after the sprint, is an elimination race, one of my favourite. That will be taking place at Herne Hill. There you have it's going to be a very simple, nice oval of Herne Hill. Herne Hill is across the other side of London. So Lee Valley is sort of northeast London, and Herne Hill is southwest London. Hill is also Olympic, but it's 1948 Olympics. It was one of the, well, it was the Olympic in the 1948 London Olympics, the austerity Olympics after the Second World War, and people still ride there. I still ride there. I rode there 2 days ago. It's an outdoor velodrome. Now Lee Valley obviously is an indoor velodrome, but Herne Hill was saved, nearly got lost. But there was a community campaign, Friends of Herne Hill Velodrome, and they managed to save it, and now it's become a really active centre for cycling. Kids race there. A lot of quite a few Pro Tour riders, Fred Wright, Ethan Hayter, all cut all their teeth at Herne Hill. So we're nearly at the start now. So 4 seconds to go. People will be winding up. We should see is going red there, and off we go. Oh, I see the first name there, Tim Cook, John Beams, some big powerhouses going off there. Tim Cook, I ride with Tim Cook in a team time trial, and I tell you what, he's a great wheel to be behind when he gets going, because he has some big numbers. There we've got Dee Grant there from Southborough District Wheelers, one of the locals. So Southborough District Wheelers are based outside of London. They're a real life cycling club based around Tunbridge Wells, which is about an hour and a half or so. I'm not sure if driving. I've ridden down there quite a few times. Based at Tunbridge Wells outside of London, and I'm out on my ride, see their distinctive kits out in the lanes of Surrey. There it is, the red shoulders, the black and yellow, that's the Southborough team. So as we go into our first year. We've got some familiar names: Gavin Ash, Frederick Lambert, Keith from OTR, Keith Atchison. Big strong rider, but probably better on the climbs than on the flats. But I'm sure he'll give it a good go whenever he can. Nick Greenholt there. Greenholt, who's a very good platinum level rider, will be in with a strong chance of winning this sort of race and also the elimination. So lots of good riders. We've got 67 riders on the line. That's a fantastic amount for a Friday night. And looking at the results weeks, I think there's something like close to 100 riders that have taken part, possibly more even over the last few weeks, and quite a few still in. So this race series, as we settle down now, the bunch seems to, as always, got off to a quick start, and now the bunch has got off to, it's not slowing down, but the bunch has calmed down, shall we say, as we come to the end of the first lap. So that's lap one. We have now a front bunch of we've got maybe 25, 30 riders there in a front bunch, going along nicely. There's not a lot of, there's a few little lumps on this, but you can start, you can get the drive. One of the great things about RGT, so we're all a few of the riders there, possibly people who were slow off the start or had technical problems. But they will keep going because it's points go a long way down, and it's a series, so you've got to get as many points as you can. So we've got a decent bunch now, settling down as often happens in races, keeping in the draft. First rule of racing: never do anything you don't have to. So if you can sit in the draft and save your energy, then great. So we're seeing a little few attacks now, maybe a few people. It's hard to tell. Sometimes people can just be trying to sit in the bunch and they just fear losing a wheel and they push a little bit harder and come up and don't quite judge it correctly and get the front. It looks like an attempt to make an attack here by Daniel Nogabauer, thank you, putting in some big power there. He seems to be at about 400 watts. Bunch still close behind, letting them get away. He's been joined by Gavin Ash and Hart there. The O next to the name there means that he's a so SDW, a slightly different classification to the normal master. O means over 45, I believe. So that means he's effectively a master, and would rather not enough people to normally masters in 5-year age categories, but here it's just done as a general over 45. So the bunch has captured them now, brought them back in, let them have. That's an interesting sign. Come with some strong riders. Neugerberger has had some goods. Seems to be in the pointing up there in the overall series. So he is certainly one that they need to keep an eye on. So there's Keith, just Nick just behind him. Is that King? Was that Wayne? Anyway, I'm just the names keep up. Mike Swat there, the RDB crew, the man who put together the website where we get our results. Fleming Bach there from the Danish EKCD team. Fleming, extremely strong rider. He'll be expecting to be in at the finish. He has a very good sprint on him. So got riders here coming up this little climb here. It's it takes its toll after 7 laps. So they're having to put out 5-6 watts per kilo to come up this little climb and make sure they don't lose the wheel. I'm getting a message here that the sound is not good. So I'm going to leave you for a moment and come back in and see if that works any better. So bear with us and I'll be back soon, I hope, with better sound. Here we are. I'm back again. Hopefully the switch on again has worked to come back to one of the little rides just before the start line. So that will be an interesting point at the end as they fight for the finish. Whoever's got to put out some big power. If you can get to the top of the rise just before the finish line, then you will be across the line. Be very catch anybody in that last 20 meters, but that will be a big test. So I'm hoping the sound is now. Hopefully. I've slightly lost track because of that, because of exactly where we are, but I see we have 5.9 kilometers to go. So presumably, what was it? It was, just under, 1.9 kilometers. So we should, yes, that means we've got 3 laps to go. Still getting the sound, so sorry about that. It could be an internet issue coming out, but I don't know why, because I'm seeing everything coming into me. I have no problem. My internet could be okay. I'm afraid I don't know what the issue would be. So apologies if you're not sound from me. We'll try and reset again, perhaps during the next between the next 2 races. Not sure what I can do at this point. So anyway, you can see the people on the screen there. We've got Tim Cook, said very strong rider there. Tim, he's perfectly capable of sitting on 350, 400 time. Very handy on the flats, and also leading. So a series that I've been running on Sundays, races. So a couple of in the lead there. So here we are coming back up to the finish line again, and I think that means we should have 3 laps to go. So we can see Tim now we're getting a bit of a that's a good one there with the I think I don't quite see I'm pretty sure that's Nick with his Christmas wear. We've got Simon also in a Christmas hat. So Christmas there. Concentrating. He's not wearing Christmas hats. He's concentrating on the race, and I'm just missing the other. There's another Southborough rider there. Apologies if I can't see it. Just cut off on my screen, so I'll see if I can work out who that is. They are getting to the pointy end of this race. Concentrating. I mean, look at John's face as he's riding these. You've got to concentrate on where everybody is. John, I'm sure, is going to be making sure that he's in at the end of this race. There he is up the front now, so he's not going to lose any place before, or not lose a wheel. Making sure that he's in there, trying hard. Nick, I'm sure too. Nick seemed to be putting out quite a big gear there when we saw him on screen, pushing away, standing up out of the saddle to get some in. Maybe they were going up one of the rises as we were doing that. So we've got now the group has probably come down to maybe it's 15 to 20 now in this front group. This is definitely a front group. Wayne Gardner there. Flemingbach still in the group. Krzyzewski from Poland. What other nations we've got there? Hartveld, Dutch flag there. Is that Isle of Man? Rockwell, hard to see on my screen, but I think that's the Isle of Man flag. And here we come now to the finish line, and we should have 2 laps to remain now. So here is where you cannot afford to let anything go. This is where if somebody's going to make a long range effort, they could be thinking about doing it here, possibly up one of these little rises, if they can get a little gap on one of the rises and just get over. I mean, ideally, if you can have 3 or 4 people to get away with you, it'd be very hard for a single rider to stay out, especially with a high quality field like this, they're perfectly capable of reeling somebody in. But if you can get a few away, sometimes in real life races, one rider gets away and the rest of the bunch sort of look around and wonder who's going to bring the tar. That tends not to happen so much in e-cycling, because the bunch generally got people in the bunch who will, work. You don't communicate, so other people, the body language and that sort of thing is not so easy to read, and breakaways and individual etiquette chased down pretty quickly. So now we've got Hartfeld, Linden, Poco, Neugebauer, Swart, Keith Thatcherson there, Fleming Bark. I think I saw Ryan Mill in there. So pretty high quality field as we come into the final few kilometres of this race. And now there's a bit of an effort to, people are putting in digs now, trying to get away. It's Gardner again. Keith's not going to let anybody get away. He's not got the big power numbers that everybody else has. The great racer, and he will try and not lose any wheel. That's the second rule of racing: don't lose the wheel. There are a few determined riders who are sticking on with this fun now. Should be coming up to the finish line. We just got this little rise coming over the finish line. This will be a good emblem of what the final is going to be. Hit that rise, get down to the line. Now we've got one lap to go, so it all gets serious here. The bunch is still together. What's that? 17 riders, I think 18 riders, 17 riders, 18 in this front bunch. So it's been whittled down a little bit. Always happens, people lose the wheel. It's been whittled down. It's still a pretty big bunch to be coming into the finish line. Tim Cook is still in there. Nick Greenhalgh is still in there. Fleming is still in there. All guys with big power and big ability to get across the line. And John must be still in there. His name, I don't see his name there, but I'm sure he's still in there. I'm surprised if John is not in there. He was won one of the previous races 2 weeks ago. It was a TT. John is an excellent TTer, very good at keeping a good steady power, but has had some high place finishes in other races as well. Not seeing last week's winner, Mac, but let's look now as we come now to the final. We're in the final kilometre. We've got 650 metres to go. Alex Rockwell there on the front. It's going to be a big bunch finish. Be very hard. Southborough Wheelers showing the flag there. Probably, bit of local effort, local knowledge there. John Beams, there's his name coming up the front just at the right time. Gavin Ash. Nick has a big sprint on him. He's putting out 4 watts. It's starting to see people go red, but I think they're just covering the wheels. 200 metres to go. Nick has a good position. Fleming Bark in a good position. Could be any of that top 10, possibly even someone coming from behind, but that would be harder. Come up Lyndon Poco, Gav Ash, and who's going to come to the line first? Lyndon Poco. Oh, it's a Dutch move. Wow, what a great effort from the Dutch there. 2 of them, they were in that top 10 as we came towards that little rise, and they managed to power just over it and have a 1-2. That's a great result there. Got Gardner in third, Gavin Ash, good result. He was up there in that finale. Fleming, Hart, Beams, Lambert, Rockwell. So it was about positioning. Had to be Ethan coming up to that little rise, get the effort done, and look at that power profile as he comes into the end there. That big surge as they came up that final rise, and that's where you can make a big. You can actually make up a few meters very quickly on a little rise like that. So there's confirmation of your top 10 there, as we have other riders now coming in the race. We had that first bunch who we're looking at here. I think we're looking at in this is the end of the race. Moraes, sorry. Portuguese flag, a couple of Portuguese riders there. towards the end of the race. Maillard, Belgian flag there. So Nick Greenhalgh there in 11th place, Tim Cook in 12th. I mean, it's all very close. You know, you're talking fractions of seconds here. That top 13, I think, were probably the ones really going for it. Yeah, we'll see the gaps here. So 40 minutes 38.1 down to 12th in 14:38.7. So 0.6 second first 12 riders there. So that was basically out of those top 12 riders getting across that little rise and shooting out to the end. And even there, yeah, Mike Swart there in 13th, just another 0.4 of a second back. Joshua Smith, Daniel Neugebauer, who we saw leading some of the early, maybe his legs weren't quite fresh enough from some of those early attacks. But top 15 there, Chris Jones, Lucas Klimaszewski, Przemek. I'm not going to try that one. Sorry about the Polish names. My son's fiance is Polish. I should get here to come and help me with my pronunciation. Rob Miller from Team 3R, another rider I know very well from riding together with TTTs, and Daniel Magalhaes in 20th. And there we have Rasmus Feldballer from the Danish team in 21st. Aussie King, Wayne in 22nd. It's very early in the morning. Wayne is another guy I ride with quite often. I don't know how he is up at this time of night, but well done, Wayne. Tom Moss, Kester Dobson, Simon Miller representing. He's the organizer of these fantastic series. You saw him on screen, so well done, Simon. A little bit off the pace there. David Baggy from Southborough District Readers. I'm just trying to see if in the who is the top SDW, because there is sort of competition, internal competition for the top Southborough District Wheelers. So I think it's Przemek, if I'm saying that correctly, unless one of the others is Southborough. And actually, I think Keith might be Keith Atchison, so Southborough. So here we go, more results coming in. So lots of results there. Dirty Dan, Martin Jessen, Yuri Gasarov, Anna Ronkainen from Finland, who will be a threat, who will be a real force in the elimination race. She's a track rider from Finland, does a lot of the track riding. I believe is the Finnish Omnium champion. Chris Duffy, Mike Weston from Southborough, Gavin Nagy, Philip Riley, also Southborough, Will Page, Del Ward, Jeff, Hagen Schanze, Paul Watmer, who's another name that I know well from track events and eliminations. He will also be doing well in the elimination, I suspect. Ben in 40th. Not sure how many other riders to come in, but we will put their results up when they are available. And I will try and sort out my audio issues, and hopefully it will be working. So what do we got there? 14:38 down to 16:38. So 2 minutes there for the top 40, covering that. I mean, once you, it's not easy in the group, but certainly once you're out of the group, it's important. Especially with the second race coming on, it probably makes sense if you've lost the group to save your effort and make sure that you are ready for the elimination race to come. Whoa, they're looking pretty. Warren, it's Warren there. Now I see the name. So, hey, I don't know if you're hearing us, but thanks for joining us on the Zoom call, pain call. Some great pain faces, looking pretty good. How did you enjoy the race? Thumbs down. So I'm in there on his phone organising. So we've got now the elimination race. Cracking effort, Warren was cracking effort, everybody. Got one lined up now on the line at Herne Hill. Herne Hill, unfortunately, doesn't look exactly like that life. I'm gonna jump. I'm just gonna check with Damon if how's the sound. and still not good, I still have time to maybe go out and come back in again. So let's decide what we're going to do. Not. We are. Okay, so apparently, well, according to Damon, who runs these fantastic live streams with amazing technology. I used to have worked in television for a long time, and I've seeing Damon reminding me of my days back in with mixing desks, and it's a fantastic. So it says it's not good. I'm assuming that it really isn't good. So try again to come out and come back in, and see if we can do anything better. Let's have another. Be back in a few moments. Cheers. Okay, trying again. Let's see if this is working now. Yes, working now. Okay, fine. Sorry. I turned it off, I turned it on again, came back, and there was no audio at all. Now, hopefully, it is good, but we're probably going to have to live with whatever it is at this point, I'm afraid. We now have just over 3 minutes to go until the start of the elimination race on... sounds better according to Damon. Fantastic. That's good news. So sorry about that. Technology. Yeah. I have 3 minutes, just half minutes now, to the elimination race on Herne Hill. So I'm not sure. Maybe some of you haven't seen how an elimination race works, either on the RGT or in real life. Quick explanation. It's Herne Hill, so it's about 400 meters per lap. I believe there are 2 neutral laps, and then every lap, a rider, could be 2 riders, is out. Sorry, I did check this before, but the whole audio thing has discombobulated me. But it will say as we come up on the screen, so we'll check that when we start. And it's basically the riders at the back of the field are the ones eliminated. So the trick is, and those of you who saw Simon Miller's post promoting this on Facebook, for me, the trick is, I've done these in real life as well, you really have to be aware. You can't fall asleep during this race. If you're in the wrong position at the wrong time, you can get eliminated. But with a big field like this, very quickly, there'll be riders at the back. So if you're in a front bunch of 20, 30 riders, and there are 10 or 15 riders behind you, you don't need to make an effort in those laps to, if you're paying attention where people are being eliminated, if it's happening 15, 20 seconds after you've crossed the line, that there's a bunch back. The trick is you have to keep an eye on how many are in that bunch, addition people are being eliminated, and know how many are in your bunch, so you're aware when the eliminations start to happen from your bunch. And once that starts to happen, you're really paying attention. The only thing is you just have to not come last on the elimination laps. And if you can say, okay, I survived that one, I'll keep going more, then it can a long way through a race. So we've got under 40 seconds now. I'm sure it will be a fun, even with the 2-lap intro race. So shout out to looking for names through this. Chris and Christina Duffy, we have a husband and wife combo. So if we see, I'm not sure put themselves up on screen, but 2 Duffys, then that's husband and lots of good battles that are taking place. The results from the 2 races tonight get combined. Yep, strong, feeling strong there. Simon looking like he's giving. Okay, so here we are. 2 neutral laps. Every lap is an elimination lap. So not every, and the 2 riders are 2 riders are eliminated on every elimination lap. And the other thing is that any lapped riders also get eliminated. So if you fall off the back of the bunch, then you get eliminated. So there's actually, we've got Chris and Christina Duffy somewhere there, and lots of ladies who've been taking part in the races. As we see John Beams going off early, he is not. So normally in a real life elimination race, it's actually a sort of tempo race, and the efforts happen every time you come to the elimination lap. But on the e-racing, for some reason, it seems to be much less calm, and people go off very quickly, which makes sense if you've got the power to stay away. So John Beams there is putting in the early effort, and we'll see whether that pays off for him. So there've been quite a few. That's an amazing number of riders, 60, 70 riders. Races tonight, quite a few ladies who are taking part. Ali, Christina, Jenny, Claire, Wendy and Linda from the Aussie New Zealand Kings and Queens team, and King will be part of that as well. We've got Andy Lark, we'll be looking for him. He is the leader of the over 45s Cat, and he's also semi-local rider. He's from Sussex Revolution, so I'm sure he, like me, also sees Loughborough guys out and in the lanes on a wind or any time. My club, by the way, is Dulwich, and we are so Herne Hill is next to Dulwich in London. So a lot of our riders do racing at Herne Hill. So Elimination Lap initiated by Jay Linden, and see what I mean. So they've crossed the start for the Elimination Lap, and we're not seeing who's been eliminated yet. So it means that this bunch is not where the elimination's taking part. In a few seconds, we should see a name come up, somebody who's being eliminated, but it means they're lots further back. So these guys should, be trying to save their effort and take it easy for now, save their energy for when they really need it. As we come up to the line again, I think could be that rider just ahead of them who's going to be there we go. Maillard and Elliott crossed the line last and were eliminated. Had they been caught just before the line, they would so that can be a bit tricky. If they'd been caught just before the line, they would have been lapped, which meant the two ahead of them would have been eliminated. So there we go, 57th, 50th eliminated. So, if these guys are clever, they'll be looking at, there we go, Secon has been lapped and eliminated. We should be seeing one more coming up as that person crosses the line. There's another two who are caught. No, guys, don't catch them. Don't catch them. No, let them. Oh, okay. So, so they got lapped and eliminated across the line, whereas they would have been, they would have been taken out of the race by eliminated as a not for being lapped, but by being the last to cross the line. So two further up will be lapped. So there we go. G. Yardley has been lapped and one of the over 45s, and Maria has been lapped and eliminated. So people, even though 450 circuit, it's people catch pretty quickly. We're about to see another rider there lapped and eliminated as they just cross. Oh, that's the C. Duffy initiating the elimination lap. So that's one of our wife team. I'm not sure whether Christina, but it's John Bean. Putting the power in, Tim Cook also making sure that he's way out in front. But no reason for any of this bunch or girls to be worried, I think, at this point. I'm pretty sure there are riders all behind them who will be taken out on nation lap. So this is, it's never wasted energy, because if you're making other people chase, then you're making them put in an effort. If it matches, then well done you. So K-Dot initiating the elimination lap now, and we'll switch to again as they cross the line. Somebody about to be caught, lapped and eliminated on this one. And from those little dots going across the bottom of the screen, that the field is still hung out and all over the place. So Jay Bart there, one of our female riders, that's the W next to the name. Could it be Jenny? I'm not sure. Wonderwall's across the line last. So there's a proper elimination, somebody crossing the line last. Duffy making sure that he's not going to get caught out. There's Anna got the Finnish flag there. I think well in the elimination. She loves a good elimination race. Queen of the Devil. Devil is what we call in the UK. I know sometimes in this series they call it Snapdragon, flowers and things that catch you. Page has been eliminated, so that's happening sometime after this group is crossing the line. They're nearly around the front, so it means that there's riders well behind who are being eliminated. We've seen the faces now. Simon, Nick, and Warren. Oh, and a thumbs up from Warren. Warren's one of his family there, giving him some encouragement. Well done, Warren. Well done for getting some support from the family there, passing up water bottles. It's a really hard race, this, especially when it gets down to the difficult end. You really have to make sure you make those efforts as you come to the line. Your heart rate goes up. You don't get a lot of time to recover. So, it is a really tough race. So Laura then crossed the line last, and Shields, the two eliminated that lap. So we're still seeing people a fair way back. eliminated. So here we go. Simon, John, Nick, Warren, all I think safely in that front bunch. There was John initiating that elimination lap. But they've got a while yet before they need to worry too much. There's Ryan Miller, there's John still up the front there, Duffy I see, yep, Ryan. He's a regular in some of the track events on RGT and other. So there's still a good, I'm guessing sort of good 30 riders in this bunch. There's Simon showing the flag, the organizer showing the flag up front for Southborough, making sure that he's seen up the front of the race. Well done, Simon. Initiated D Hart, initiating that elimination lap, and again we'll see what the gap is to the riders behind. Again, you can see from those little dots down the bottom, there's still people off the back, so these guys don't need to worry too much. And a little side note. Simon has sent me a message saying Tom Moss of Southborough District Wheelers to be watched out for in sprints. No pressure, but you know the organisers' selection is on you. So we'll be seeing how he goes. So John now is that John putting in an effort? No, I don't think he's going to. He's just making sure that he is safe as we cross the line. And John has plenty of power to spare, so he might as well. There's Mike Swart up there with him. Maybe they're trying to put in an effort to get away. Sometimes, especially in the real life elimination, where the elimination doesn't necessarily happen every lap, and it can do sometimes, but more so in a points race where points happen every sort of 4 or 5 laps. Often, as you cross the line, the field relaxes a bit. They think, okay, we're all safe. It can be a really good time to make an attack because it's just when people are switched off a bit. And it's when you can get a bit of a gap. So maybe that's what John and some of the others here are thinking, that's good. Tim Cook, that's some power up the front there. If they can get a little bit of a gap and keep it. Tim, John, Mike, that could be decent. But it looks like the bunch is getting back on their wheel now and is not going to let them get away. It's difficult. And obviously no points there. So Smith's there, crossing the last. So still some distance back from this group. So there's Hart, one of the veterans there, about to cross the line. Smitheroo, 89, was the one who managed to initiate that lap. And you see the riders pulling off to the side there in the virtual life. Obviously in a track, they get to go and watch the rest of the race. There was a feature, hopefully it will be restored soon. There was a feature in RGT where you could follow the race once you were eliminated. It was a simple button on your app that allowed you to follow the race, put you in with the lead time or the nearest rider, I think, and allowed you to keep, which is obviously useful in the race where you can be out pretty quickly. There was a couple of updates recently in RGT, some big things, and also switched to a different app arrangement. So some stuff has been hopefully not lost, but is still in the process of being put back in once they concentrated on getting the out and gradually making sure that all the functionality is restored, plus added as well. Anybody who's been on today will have seen some changes to some of the bots on RGT. So yeah, look, it's looking painful now. Simon, that is painful. I'm not sure how he is still wearing a Santa hat, but he is. Kudos to him for that. Nick pushing a big gear there. He's sort of dancing away with a big gear. Obviously a man who likes big gear rather than be a spinner. Can be a bit difficult. You can sort of see it on the avatars there. I don't know if you saw Nick's avatar. He's up the front there, but clearly he likes to be pushing a nice big gear, which would be very handy when it comes to sprint if you're already in that big gear and you can get up to speed. Here we go. Aussie King now on the front. Gavin Ash crossed the line last. So I think we might be getting some eliminations now from this bunch. So now is when it starts to get real. If the eliminations are happening in this bunch, this is so we're not those dots behind. Those station ones are all. So we're now got a bunch of about maybe 20, and this is where they have that really, so I don't know, maybe you've got to be careful when it comes to your bunch. If you're not ready, that can be difficult. But now the guys know that that it's real, that this is where the eliminations, they've got to make sure they're up the front in these elimination laps. So who's there? Dirty Dan, DDRT, Elvan Reith crossed the line last. So the eliminations now happening 2 at a time from this bunch. So where do you see? 20, 21. We've probably got a bit more. So that means it goes down to the final 3, and they fight it out for the final lap. So that means we've probably got another 10 laps or so before we get to the final 3, who will sprint for the finish. Gardner there, one of the veterans out in front, Lyndon Poco, the winner of our previous race. That would be a great result if he can finish up high in this one. See Jones initiated, so Scott was up the front in some of the previous laps, but he's been back on as they cross the line. And what was that? Lindemans has crossed the line last on that. You just for to stay awake, they've got to make sure that they are in the right spot. I mean, you can make a big effort as you cross the line, and it'll be interesting to see who's at the back. But every time you make those efforts, you burn, and there's only you can do. So Simon John still fighting it out there. John initiating up. So Keith Atchison was eliminated on that, and Aussie King Wayne was eliminated on that lap. So yeah, I mean, Keith is, as I say, Keith's a real competitor. He will always fight for the wheel, but big power is not his thing. He's much more of a climber. But he'll be pleased to have lasted a fair way into the elimination race. So Lyndon Poco then out in making sure that he's on the front as we come around to the elimination. Is that there's Warren. There's Warren making an effort. He's across the line. Well done, Warren. Where's that? Weston and Furlan. Hadn't seen those names up front. They've been hiding safely in the bunch, but that's a decent result. They're getting into the top 20 here, so that's where you get the points. So we've got Tim Cook, Hart, Jones, Green, Hocko, big names still in this. Lots of going red. I mean, just look at the colours as they go around. So Lyndon Poco there comes to front, goes down to blue, which means less effort, but going red. We'll see lots of red as we power towards the line on every one of these elimination laps. So Duffy there, who'd initiated some of the early laps, has eliminated, and Paul Watmer across the line last. I think he might have leaned a little bit off, maybe as he realised that he wasn't going to make it into the bunch and eased off. Paul is usually pretty good at these races, but this is a pretty high quality field, pretty high class field. So to finish anywhere in the top 20 in this field is a very good effort. So coming up now for another lap. John making sure that he's putting an effort. It's really interesting. John, I know, is an excellent time trialist. As we saw, he won the one of the previous time trial race in this. But Simon is out. He's crossed the line last. And Anna, well, both prizes, both those. Anna, very strong rider. So Simon there, you get to relax. Look at that heavy breathe. Sometimes it's a grief when you're out of the race. So Simon, well done, good effort there. Certainly getting in the top 20, and also getting in the top the race. Yeah, well done, Simon. Give us a wave. Excellent. Who's going to initiate this one? Nick is initiating this elimination lap with Smithrew and Baggy crossing the line last. So definitely coming out of these group. As we come around the corner now, we'll get a better sense of how many are left. What do we got? Maybe 12, 13. So still 4 or 5 laps to go before we get down to the final one. Ryan Miller there, making sure that he is at the front. It's all about position. I mean, it's very much about position in real life elimination races. If you can get the inside, make sure there's nobody in front of you, or get on the shoulder of the person, it's much, much harder for them to go around every time, because you have the banking on a track. So Tim Cook, and it was one of the Polish riders there who was eliminated on that lap. So now we're down to the final 12. And I was just saying before, UK, this race is often called from an oral expression, the devil take the hindmost, which basically means, that anybody who's slacking gets caught by the devil. I think it is really a very old expression, like from, the Middle Ages. So that's been adopted into the elimination race. So C. Jones there initiating that. Lyndon Poco across the line last. But that's a top maybe 10, maybe 11 or 12. We'll see when we get to the final results. There's 10 riders still there, so it's 11 and 12. But that'll be a good result combined with the win in the first race. So it'll be interesting to see how the point there. Decent haul for Lyndon Poco tonight. So Fleming now coming to the front. Fleming does a lot of track riding on Argent, and he is very good at these races. He's been sitting tidily in the bunch. So Neugebauer, Hart, and Moss from South District Wheelers. So that was Simon's tip for the sprint. So there we go. Tom Moss of South District Wheelers. Well, he made top 10. So perhaps not quite the curse of being selected by the organizer or singled out. And who've got Rob Hartveld, who finished second, I think, or finished highly in the previous race. John Beams there. Nick Greenhouse. Still got 3 of our 4 Zoom riders in the race to show us their pain faces. So Neugebauer, wow, went and Jones up the front as we came towards the line, but just got rolled as he crossed the line there. You just you can't assume. That was one of my other tips, that once you're in this situation, you have to keep going. You cannot let off at all. Once you start your sprint, you have to sprint to the line, because you can get rolled so quickly, especially in real life where you have physical issues about being able to come round. But here, because of the virtual nature, riders like that can come through a gap that they wouldn't have been in real life. Nick is and John too. That's 2 of our Zoomers are out in a single one. So Warren, you are the last of our on-screen who is still able to finish this race, and it looks like that could be our front 3. Fleming is off the back of this group, so he will be eliminated. He's obviously realised that he's not going to keep touch with this group. He's going to take 4th place. Should be our final lap as we come up. I think so. Fleming will be eliminated. Yep, Warren now. Go on, Warren. Rob Miller there from Texas. Rob has also decided that he's going to accept 3rd place. So it looks Hartveld and Warren are going to fight it out for the final. Warren there, cagey, staying green. He's not going to put in the effort. Hartveld is on his wheel. Who's going to put in the effort first? Hartveld trying to come around the outside. Can Warren keep the inside line? Yes, well done. The inside line, always good. Have they got the sprint? Come on, Warren. Put it in. No, Hartveld just gets his win. Warren's going to cross the line second. Well done. What a great result there for Hartveld. And Warren, well done for finishing that race in 2nd place. Well done for Warren. And the Tuthra District Wheelers rider for tonight, I think. And Hartveld there, Dutch flag, who finished second in the first race. So that'll be a great result for him overall. So hopefully soon we will see some of the overall results. It's hard to keep track because they are in dribs and drabs over the elimination race. But what a fantastic race and a great finish. Well done fighting it out. We had some really top names there fighting it out to the end. So there's confirmation there. Hartveld finishing 1st. Warren Gardner there in 2nd place. Well done, Warren. For Southborough, doing Rob Miller there in 3rd. Fleming Bach 4th. John Beams, Nick Greenhalgh in 6th. Neugebauer, Jones, and Hart. So Fleming looks like he's the top. No, Warren. I think that bracket might be an O next to Warren's name. So probably the top veteran, the top over 45 in that race. So we will probably see me race more of the results as we come through. Here we go, next 10. So we've got Tom Moss, Lyndon Pocko, Rockel, Tim Cook, 3R, Klimazevs from Poland there, Smitharoo, Baggy, Simon, well done Simon, great series, great to see so many people turning up for the races. I know as an organiser it's great when you see people coming week in, week out to join the races. This is certainly a popular series. And Anna there, well done Anna, representing Finland, possibly the top woman, and maybe women's name against any other. So Anna there in 18th place, probably the top woman in this race. There, one of the husbands, Herring, Watmer, Paul Weston, Furlan, Aussie King, there, Kim Aitchison, Jay Mermans, Dirty Dan, finishing, so that's our top, what are we down to, 27, so some good results there, and we'll see if we can get some more riders. Here we go, we'll go through the results and then we'll sign off. So Van Reeth there, Francois Lambert, Gavin Ash, Dobson, Jessen, Christine, Kivilis, the German and Belgian group there, Gusarov, the Russian flag, strong rider, highly in the previous race, but you know, someone's in the elimination, even it's not the strongest rider who always wins the elimination, it's the smartest. So Schmitz, Nobby, Riley, quite a few South turning up, Riley and Loughborough, Kids, I wonder if that's Hector Kids, there's a man in my club, Hector Kids, could be. Jeff, Belgian there, Mason, Daniel, Brazilian flag, Lauro from Canada. Got Shields, Page getting down into the 50s, Allsop, Wonderwalls, Bart, Swedish flag, Maria in the French flag, King, Hearn getting down to the 318s. That must have been what are we doing, about 40 seconds a lap here. So and here's the final ones: Hearn, Hurst, Jacon, Maillard, and Elliott, and Ward, who were the first ones. A lot of those riders getting lapped rather than being last across the line. Finally, the ZMers that Damien uses of his magic to bring you the results of these races. So what a great race. Check on the Facebook pages and also in RGTDB for the series results. Russ Cook, well done guys, thanks for stream. Yep, absolutely Russ, great to see you, thanks for the encouragement. Henrik Mard, Woohoo Peddlers, yeah, I'm not sure who were the peddlers on top. Peddlers on top, is that right? Sorry, I'm not seeing the names. At Peddlers, that's the Dutch, those are the Dutch riders on top there. So I'll try and have a quick look at some of the, before we go, some of the, if I can see what the standings, pick out some of the names, the series standings. So yeah, Wout Hartveld was already second in the series standings. He's had a string of results, has been in 4 of the races, so now 5, and he was already second on 313 points, just behind John Beams. Thank you, Simon. Combined results on RGTDB South District Wheelers series page later tonight. So John Beams, so I'm guessing with only 2 points difference that Wout Hartveld will probably jump up to there, possibly leapfrogging John Beams, who had good finishes, quite as high as Wout there. Greenhill also will be way up there as well. So a top 3, probably the same top 3, but possibly with Wout jumping up to the top. Who else we got top 10 there? Keith was also in top 10. We've got for tonight. Over the series, I believe it's best of 7 out of the 10 races that count. So, you know, if you have a bad night, it's not the end of the world. Mike Swart is also up there. Rob Miller is also up there. And Tom Moss is also up in the top 10 so far. So all those riders will be doing well I'm just scrolling down to see if Lyndon Poco has been doing previous races. I'm not seeing him on the top. Could be that he's only done one or two and therefore isn't appearing. But no, it might be his first so to make the 7. But who knows? If you can get results like that every week, he'll certainly be up there over the time of the series. So this was the 5th race, race. I believe there's a pause over Christmas, and it comes in the new year. So look out for that on Friday night. I'm sure there'll be much more good racing. I see the next race on the 7th of January. It also has a connection to my club, Dulwich. It's on the Wally Gimba circuit. Wally Gimba is a race that is promoted by my club, Dulwich. It's probably one of the highest ranked races down in the southeast. It's a National B race, and previous winners include people like Bradley Wiggins and some top riders who've raced it early in their careers. So it's on the circuit that we use, one of the circuits that we use for the Wally Gimba race, which happens usually in March each year. So look out for that on the 7th of January, followed by a TT, and then some more road race style of races. Yeah, have a good Christmas, everybody. No doubt there'll be lots more riding, lots more events on RGT, and then to anybody who's doing things like the Festive 500 Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed the racing tonight, and I hope you have some more good riding over the next few weeks, and we will see you soon. Thanks for joining.